And tomorrow night, live on the WWE Network, a charismatic enigma will attempt to cleanse his soul of a venomous serpent inside the devil's playground. Also, the leader of the Shield will put his Universal Championship up on the line against a monster, cashing in his Money in the Bank contract with the same man that made this very match famous after getting thrown off the top of the cell. And that man will be the special guest referee. And finally, a phenomenal champion will attempt to once again silence the assassin with the world crown of SmackDown Live hanging in the balance. But before it is time for that cell to be lowered down, before it is time to cleanse the soul, before it is time for Hell in a Cell, it's time for the rundown! Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video right here on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the official rundown for WWE Hell in a Cell 2018, which is streaming live tomorrow night on the WWE Network, with the pre-show starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, we are going to dive straight into the matches, and we are going to go step by step which match might steal the show, which matches are going to be completely missable, the outcomes of each match, the works. So, start off with the kickoff match. This was actually a surprise to me because I didn't think that they would put this match on the kickoff. It is Aiden English and Rusev Day versus the New Day for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. I actually thought they were going to put Andrade Cien Almas and R-Truth on the pre-show, considering what happened this past Tuesday on SmackDown Live. But apparently they're not. Apparently they are going ahead with Rusev Day and the New Day. And look, I am incredibly interested in how this match is going to end. I actually think it's going to continue the dissension of Rusev Day storyline, like I've been saying. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they would put it on the pre-show if it's supposed to be a big talking point, considering what has happened over the past couple of months with Rusev and Aiden English, and the fact that the New Day finally dethroned the Bludgeon Brothers. You know what I mean. Regardless, I'm not going to say it's going to be a bad match. I actually think it's going to be a very good tag team match. I think that if they book it right, this tag team match should run very smoothly. I would give them at least 11 minutes. These two teams are very talented, so you know that they're going to bring their A game. And, you know, there's a part of me that thinks that Rusev Day is going to win, but based on what's been going on over the summer with Andrade and Rusev, I'm going to call the New Day to retain. Because they already got the New Day versus the Bar at Super Showdown. Now, plans could be subject to change. I already know that. You already know that. WWE loves to switch up the plans midway through the build. But I don't really think they would take the titles off the New Day just like that. I think that Rusev Day is going to lose, and they're going to continue the dissension of Rusev Day's storyline, which will eventually lead to Aiden English getting crushed, no pun intended, by Rusev in a heel turn. So the New Day to retain should be a good match for what it is laid out to be. I'm not going to say it's going to be a terrible match, but I am interested to see how this plays out. I would love to see Rusev Day win, but I'm going to go with the New Day. Now, let's move on to the main card. We got the Hell in a Cell match between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. I think that this could be a great match, possibly the match of the night. Anything involving Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton is more or less going to be good, especially when it's inside Hell in a Cell. Jeff Hardy, I heard, personally requested this match because he's never competed inside Hell in a Cell. He also said he would love to face Finn Balor before he retired. I would love to see that. But as far as this match goes, I've been enjoying this storyline since Randy Orton returned at Extreme Rules. I've been enjoying the storyline. I like how they're pacing it. I like the fact that they are using Jeff Hardy's almost alter ego, Willow, so to speak. Jeff Hardy has been channeling his broken nature combined with Willow, so to speak. I don't know if you've been catching up to that, but Jeff Hardy's kind of doing a combo of the broken gimmick and Willow. There's actually been rumors going around that we could very well see Willow at Hell in a Cell, but I don't really think they're going to do that. That was a TNA inspired gimmick. The same thing with Matt Hardy, but and the broken gimmick, but the broken gimmick was much more popular than the Will-O-the-Wisp gimmick that Jeff Hardy came up with. So we should see the same old Jeff Hardy. I think the match could be a show stealer. I think Jeff could possibly kill himself by jumping off the top of the cell. I actually hope he doesn't. Now, I'm all for seeing an oh my god spot fest, but it's Jeff Hardy we're talking about. Jeff Hardy, though he may be younger than Shane McMahon, he's no Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon, I'm fully convinced, is not human. He has survived things that a normal human being should not survive. But Jeff Hardy, considering what he's been going through as of lately, I would not have Jeff Hardy jump off the cell. I mean, you could have Jeff Hardy jump off halfway through or get powerbombed off the cell through the table. I wouldn't mind that. But I wouldn't do it from the tippity top. I expect a lot of weapons to be brought into this match, and by the end of it, I'm expecting Randy Orton to come out victorious. Based on how they've been building up Randy Orton, there's no way that you can't give Randy Orton the win. So Randy Orton to defeat Jeff Hardy. Let's talk about Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maurice, the Yes Man and Chewbacca versus The Miz and his wife. Again, this is really just a bridge match towards the match at Super Showdown between Daniel Bryan and The Miz. I see Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella winning this. It could be a good match. I mean, they could prove me wrong. I actually do hope they prove me wrong, because I don't want to come on the rewind. If I do a rewind, college has been tying me up as of lately, so I don't think I'll be able to do a rewind for Hell in a Cell. But should I do, I don't want to come on here and just bash the pay-per-view and bash the matches and say, this was shit, that was shit. I actually want to be pleasantly surprised, and I hope I am. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella to come out victorious. The Miz and Maurice, they don't need the win. Miz already got the win at SummerSlam. You can have Miz win against Bryan at Super Showdown. Miz can go on to challenge for the WWE title. Win the WWE title, Bryan could win the Rumble, and there is your main event for WrestleMania 35. But knowing WWE, they'd probably give us the middle finger and have Dwayne Johnson win the Royal Rumble, and have Roman go on to WrestleMania to main event for a 5th year in a row, in which then, like I said, you would have to have me in an insane asylum. But let's not get carried away here. So, Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan to get the victory. Next match, let us talk about Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. This match makes no sense whatsoever. Mainly because of the fact that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins haven't done anything on Raw. Dean Ambrose has barely even competed. They have done nothing to deserve a Raw Tag Team title opportunity. You could say the same about McIntyre and Ziggler, but McIntyre and Ziggler were given an ultimatum by Corbin, and they attacked the Revival, and they got themselves into a Raw Tag Team title match with the B Team. Thankfully, it's off the B Team, but automatically, if you put it back on Ambrose and Rollins, it's just making it worse. Just making it worse. Drew McIntyre and Ziggler could revitalize that tag team division. Have them compete against Titus Worldwide, The Revival, AOP. Why not? Why you gotta put it right back on Rollins and Ambrose? They already outlived their usefulness. Rollins and Ambrose should have lost the tag team titles to The Revival. Either to The Revival or to Gallows and Anderson, while Gallows and Anderson were still on Raw. They did not need to flip-flop the titles back and forth with the Bar and then get Jason Jordan involved. This is not needed. Now you're trying to get the Shield over by putting all the titles on them. Why isn't Seth Rollins defending the Intercontinental title at Hell in a Cell? He's only defended it once. What, Ziggler's going to get his rematch down the line, possibly on the Raw after Hell in a Cell, and then Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, they're going to get their rematch the following week? You're going to flip-flop the titles again like you did with the bar? I'm praying to the good Lord that Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose do not win, but, you know, my heart says Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. My head says Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I might as well just go with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. The match, I'm not saying this is going to be a bad match. I think this could be a great tag team match. I'm not saying it's going to be bad whatsoever. But honestly, it's not needed. It's not needed for Ambrose and Rollins to win the tag team titles. I'm all for Rollins becoming a double champion again, but ultimately, it's going to do nothing because this whole Shield reunion is just another attempt to get Roman cheered, to get Roman over, and to basically carry him, just like he's carried through matches, just to carry him all the way through the rest of 2018 until we get to the Royal Rumble where Dwayne Johnson's going to win the Royal Rumble. And all the while, I'm going to be losing my mind. Moving on, before I put myself in the hospital a little early. Let's talk about Charlotte and Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This actually could be one of the best non-Hell in a Cell matches on Hell in a Cell's card. Hell in a Cell's card, it has some good matches, but ultimately, like I always say, the booking always makes or breaks the show. This match could be the best non-Hell in a Cell match outside of AJ and Joe. I've been enjoying the build to this match a lot. I've been enjoying the storyline that they've been telling with Becky Lynch and Charlotte. I like the fact that they're building up Becky as more of an anti-hero than a heel, in case you didn't pick up on that. I think that this is going to be a very competitive match. It's going to be a very hard-hitting match. I think we're going to have a lot of innovative spots, and ultimately, by the end of this, I actually think this is going to end in either a double countout or a double disqualification. I think that there's going to be no definitive winner. Because they already got this match announced for WWE Super Showdown. So, if my calculations are correct, that would be Becky's time, and then you have the rematch at Evolution. I mean, that's how I would do it. I don't know about you, but that's how I would do it. Charlotte, to me, is nothing but a transitional champion to put it on Becky and possibly build towards a Becky Lynch versus Asuka match down the line. With Becky Lynch still being that anti-hero. She's almost like a tweener. She's not a heel yet. I don't think she'll ever be a heel. She's an anti-hero and a tweener at the same time. But I'm calling this to go into a double countout. I don't think there's going to be any definitive winner here. Let's talk about Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. I expect this to be nothing but a repeat of Hell in a Cell. There's no way you can give Alexa Bliss any offense that's going to look believable against Ronda Rousey. Alexa Bliss has shown nothing to make her believable against any woman, for the last year and a half. For the last year and a half, she's been nothing but a cowardly heel that kicks and screams and yells at the referee, "I know, I'm off her." All she does is a knee, a DDT, slaps and punches, and now she's recently adopted a terrible-looking armbar just to get under the skin of Ronda Rousey. Even with injured ribs, Ronda Rousey could still murder Alexa Bliss. There is no way that Alexa Bliss is winning back the title. This better not go over 5 minutes. Ronda Rousey retains. I feel like we're moving a little fast, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, am I missing something? They didn't really announce that many matches. Nakamura's not on the show. Cruiserweights aren't on the show. There really isn't any undercard matches that aren't for championships outside of that mixed tag match and then Hardy vs Orton. Am I missing something? I don't know, because now we got the two remaining world title matches. We got AJ and Joe, and then we're going to talk about Strowman and Roman. But let's talk about AJ and Joe first. Realistically, this match should be the only match inside Hell in a Cell, and it should be the main event. It should have been the main event at SummerSlam. This match was the best match of the night at SummerSlam. I think AJ and Joe, it's going to be the best match of the night. That's not a Hell in a Cell match. Because the two Hell in a Cell matches, they have chances to be show stealers. But as far as AJ and Joe goes, I expect this to be just as good, if not better, than SummerSlam. And recent reports by Barn Burners Fired Up podcast, if you didn't see the Lightning Flash update, which I posted on Thursday, mainly because of the fact that yesterday I was barely even home. I was at my college campus, I went to work, and then I went to see The Nun. The Nun, by the way, phenomenal movie. Fantastic movie. If you are a horror movie addict, I highly recommend it. But as far as AJ versus Joe goes, like I said, it's going to be just as good, if not better than SummerSlam. And according to Barn Burners Fired Up podcast, Samoa Joe is set to win the title soon. I can see Samoa Joe winning the WWE Championship at Hell in a Cell. I can see Samoa Joe locking in that coquina clutch. And Night Night AJ. Where can I purchase Night Night AJ? Please, 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 again, anyone who knows where I can purchase Night Night AJ, please, please leave it in the comments. I'm going to read that to my kids. I'm going to read that to my kids once I get married and start a family. But I think Samoa Joe is going to win the WWE Championship. It's either going to be at Hell in a Cell or Barn Burners Fired Up podcast, or Super Showdown. Barn Burners Fired Up podcast reported that it's going to be very soon. I'm taking that as either Hell in a Cell or Super Showdown, mainly because of the fact that I reported not that long ago that they have AJ versus Joe for the WWE title set for SmackDown 1000. I think that's going to be the blow-off match. So, Samoa Joe is going to win the WWE Championship. That is my prediction on AJ versus Joe. AJ's had a good run, but it's Samoa Joe's time. If I didn't miss anything, I believe we are on the last match. This is a very condensed pay-per-view, mainly because of the fact that I feel it's just because there's 2 Hell in a Cell matches. Both of them are probably going to go over 20 minutes. But as far as Roman and Strowman go, we all know Roman Reigns has officially become the worst Universal Champion in WWE history, and the title's only been around a little bit over 2 years. I would much rather have Brock Lesnar hold the title to WrestleMania 40 than have Roman hold it for 10 more minutes. I've said that time and time again. We all know Roman Reigns needs to lose the title. We all know he's a failure. We all know he cuts boring promos. We all know that he's not even close to being the best wrestler. We all know he's not over. We all know this. We all know that. We all know it. We all know it. We all know it. I've said it plenty of times. You've heard it plenty of times. You've recited it to the idiots on social media plenty of times. There's really no need to go over it. Mick Foley is the special guest referee. He is there to get Roman over by raising his hand after he wins. My heart says Strowman. My head says Roman Reigns. I'm telling you, you're going to have to put me in a hospital if Strowman loses. It's going to be even worse if Mick Foley costs Braun Strowman. But I cannot, and I'm telling you, I cannot stress it enough how important it is to have Roman lose the title. Because Roman goes into WrestleMania against Dwayne Johnson, it's going to be just as worse as Brock Lesnar and Roman at WrestleMania 34. Dwayne Johnson, he's not that guy, especially in the modern era, who's going to bring a great match out of anyone unless your name is John Cena or CM Punk. Don't get me wrong, I find The Rock entertaining as hell, but literally the only 2 good matches that Rock has had ever since he's returned is John Cena at WrestleMania 28 and then CM Punk at the Royal Rumble 2013. The Rock hasn't even technically wrestled since WrestleMania 29. WrestleMania 32, that wasn't anything. That was just a 6-second embarrassing match with Eric Rowan. No wonder why WrestleMania 32 is considered one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. But main event of WrestleMania 35 is Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. I'm praying to God. I'm praying to the good Lord. If there is something holy out there, have Braun Strowman win the title. I cannot take another minute with Roman as Universal Champion, but I have a feeling Roman's going to win anyway. All in all, I don't think Hell in a Cell is going to be a bad pay-per-view. If they book it correctly, it could be a very good pay-per-view. But all in all, I don't know. I've really lost faith in all of WWE's main roster pay-per-views, especially after what's been going on this year with the tread of bad pay-per-views, with WrestleMania, with Backlash, with Extreme Rules. What do you really want me to say? But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of The Rundown. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @TheDJStorms. Do not forget, by the way, to check out the Lightning Flash update if you missed it from Thursday. I will post the link in the description. Do not forget, if you are around the New Jersey area, my partnership is hosting a meetup at Mother's Ale's house. Yes, we had to move locations twice because Hooters would not be showing any more pay-per-views for WWE till WrestleMania 35, and the Tilted Kilt Puppet Eatery unexpectedly just closed down. I don't really know what's going on. That's Tommy McGrogan's business. But he finally booked us a venue at Mother's Ale House in Wayne, New Jersey. So if you're around that area, I'll be there. Tommy McGrogan's going to be there. Glenn Davidson's going to be there. We're trying to get at least 25 to 30 people. So if you're in the area, please come out, say hi. Let's watch Hell in a Cell. Let's talk business. Talk business. Maybe, just maybe, if you're a huge wrestling fan, I'd be able to get you on a possible special edition Storm stream in the future, which will be returning. It will be returning in a few weeks. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Storms, and this has been The Rundown. I will catch you tomorrow.